Hey everyone, welcome back to the live stream lesson. Today we're gonna be looking at Witch's Dance from Suzuki book number 2. So first, let's take a listen to how the song goes. Alright. Ready? Yeah, all right. So this piece focuses on, first of all, the hooked bowing that we do, the right, as well as the triplets. And we're also going to be focusing on the second position mostly on our left hand. So let's, and you'll notice today that I only have one tape on the cello. So that's because we're going to be starting to focus on playing without the tape and trying to use our ears more so than our eyes, right? So just to let you know, the tape I have is where our pinky is on in the first position. So I'm going to be explaining how to tune our position using the open strings. So that's the only reason why I have the tape here. And from now on, in the lessons, I'm going to try and only have this tape. If I think I'll put one more tape down here for fourth position maybe later, but I'll think about it when I get there. All right, so let's just take a look at the very first section. The notes are fairly simple, so let's just read the notes. Ignore the rhythm for now. Let's just play note by note, starting from the beginning, right? So starting from B, A, G, D, G sharp. Remember to put your third finger where the line is, where your the pinky should be, and then G sharp is your fourth finger there. And then go back to your first position. And then arpeggio. Just like that. So the notes are very simple. Nothing too difficult, maybe a little bit the G sharp, but we should be used to playing that note by now. So the difficult part is the rhythm and the bowing. So you'll notice that we have dotted 8th note and 16th note, right? So if you remember how dotted rhythms go, the dot adds like half of the value of the note that it's in front of. So this dotted 8th note actually has, it lasts for 3/16 notes. So I like to think 1 so just try and keep counting all the 16th notes. So 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and so if you count out loud the 16th notes, we play for 3 16th notes at the beginning, 1 2 3, and then the last note for only 1 16th. Da, da. So it sounds like this. Bop 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 and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and So what I like to do is, first of all, just play really slowly like how I'm doing. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually stop the bow on the 3rd 16th note. So it's like 1 2 stop and 1 2 stop and 1. So that's going to help you get the rhythm very clearly. So 1 2 3 and 1 2 stop and 1 and 2 E and 1 and stop and 1 and stop and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 A stop and 1 and stop and 1 E and 2 sorry and here this is a triplet. So it's kind of weird what we're going back from 16th notes, 8th notes to triplets. So it's like da 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 da. So it's slightly slower than the 8th note, so like that. Da da dee da da dee da. So it's very important to feel the big beats here. So feel the first beat and the second beat. So let's just try it one more time from the beginning till the end of this phrase. So I'm gonna count out loud the 16th notes. So taki taki taka ta like that. And I'm gonna yell stop, and that means to stop the bow in between the hooked bows, right? So let's try this one more time. 1 E and 2 E and ready and go E and 1 and 2 and stop and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E stop and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 stop and tip and 2 and so that's how it goes. Let's take a look at the next line. And the next line is pretty much the same. So the next line is the same, except for the second line, right? Second line, we change from to this. So that's the only different thing. Let's just practice the last two measures of the second line. So starting from G, G, B, D, G, D, B, G. So that's the only different thing. Rest of the phrase is the same. So dun 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 and dun da da dee stop and da da stop and da da dee dee da da. Let's try at that speed. All right, ready? 1 E and 2 E and ready, set, go. And 1 E stop and 1 stop. And 1 E stop, 1 E stop. And 1 stop, stop. And 2. All right, so that's how it goes. The first two lines are actually not too difficult. Just remember to practice it that slow, and it helps to count out loud the subdivisions. I like to count the 8th notes or the 16th notes. The triplets, just remember that just try and land on the big beats, right? 1, 2. In between, for now, don't worry about it. We'll work on it a little bit later. All right, now comes the fun part. Let's take a look at the next couple of lines. So here, next 2 line, we're only going to be in 2nd position. Well, there's one place we shift back, but so let's take a look. I'll explain it. So remember, the 2nd position is where we put our 4th finger. Our 2nd finger is where we put our 4th finger, that D. So generally, how you can tune your 2nd position, so this open D on the top, on A, you can tune it with the open D string. So that's how I would find the 2nd position. So that's on the A. On the D string, it's a G. So you can tune that with an open G string down below. So another thing here is you can actually tune your 4th finger with the string above, which is an open A. So it should sound, your 2nd position, your 2nd and 4th finger, you can tune it with your 2nd finger with the string below and 4th finger with the string above. Same thing for G string. So 2nd finger is C. You can tune it with the C string below. D, 4th finger, you can tune it with the string above. So that's how you tune. So that's your notes on the 2nd position. So let's quickly take a look at these arpeggios. So the first arpeggio, it starts on a D, and then 4th fingers maintain the position, 4th finger on the D string, which is going to be an A. And then your 1st finger, so A, G, F sharp, right? So you can even keep your 2nd finger always on the A string. Just like that. So D, A with 4th finger. 1st finger stay in position. Let go of everything. D, 1st finger same position. So maybe just keep your 2nd finger always on, always down on the string, because it's not gonna move. And the same pattern, the same finger pattern, only now we're moving over 1 string down to starting on D, G with the 2nd finger, 2nd position. Same thing. 4th finger. And then the next one, so these first 2, they're the same fingering, you just switch over to the other strings, right? So first 2 measures, let's do it slowly. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Now let's take a look at the 2nd line. So 2nd line goes on E. So that E, we stay in position. It's the 4th finger on A. So if that's a D, E is with our 4th finger. If you have trouble finding the note, that E also makes a harmonic. So you can find the note like that and then press down. So E's there, E, D, C sharp, right? E, C sharp. And while we play this open A, we're gonna move back to E. So remember, just try and remember where your first position is. We got rid of the tapes, right? So move, press E, back to A, and back to C sharp, like that. So I'll do it very slowly. E, C sharp, A, E, A, C sharp, like that. Once again, slowly. E, C sharp, A, shift, E, I'm out of tune. C sharp. And then the next arpeggio is the same thing as the first arpeggio, right? So the only difficult one is this landing from that's the difficult part because we're shifting around. So you can tune the E, first finger E, with the open A as well. It should sound like that. So that's what we call a perfect fourth. So that's one way to tune it. So try and focus on your hand position right now. We're going back and forth from second position to first position, and we'll be doing that a lot more. So try and just feel and remember where your hand is and how your body feels when you're in that position, as well as when you're in the second position. So try to remember how your hand, your arm feels when you're in those positions, and I think you'll be fine. Just try and practice it slowly. Don't get frustrated if it doesn't sound good in the beginning. No one sounds good in the beginning. It took me a long time, like 10 years or more. So let's just do these two lines slowly, okay? 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1 8 2 switch and 1 E and 2 prepare and shift. Stay in position. Yeah, so that's how that part goes. And I think that's one of the more difficult parts of this piece. So take your time learning it. Really just focus on finding your second position and then moving down back and forth from it. Okay? So take your time and let's now move on to the next line. So the next line, we have some accidentals that are not sharps. So let's just quickly take a look at these and I'll explain the fingering that we're doing here. It's gonna be different than what's in the book. So I like this fingering a little bit more, so try it out. Okay, so the notes are, we ended that D, right? What we're gonna do is now we're gonna shift back to first position and then C natural and then extension to that B flat. And then same thing, extension to that F. If you don't want to do extension to that F, you're more than welcome to do third finger there. So extension and close. And then here, we're gonna shift. We're gonna place our third finger to where our pinky should be. And we can tune that third finger with the open string, right? So it's E flat, D, C sharp, C natural, just like that. So fourth finger is E flat, third finger is D natural, first finger is C natural, and then for that B, we're just gonna shift half step like that. And then we're there, and then extension back. F sharp. So the notes are not too difficult. The movements are kind of tricky. So let's do it slowly, the very first line. So D, C sharp, extension back, B flat, A, B flat, let's do second finger, extension. And then, so that's where we're gonna land our third finger. So we only need to go half step, right? So half step. And then extension again. So those are the notes. Now let's add rhythm to it. So 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3, like that, right? 1 E and 2 E and ready, set, go. And 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 and shift half step. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and extension. 1 E and 2 E and 2 and 1. Yeah, just like that. Let's do it one more time, slightly faster. 1 E and 2 E and ready, set, go. And 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 Yeah, there we go. So now we only have one more part to look at, and that is this very ending. So the very ending is kind of like the beginning, only we're gonna change, instead of the ending is different. So it does a whole bunch of scale instead of an arpeggio. So let's just read until the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th measure. We're gonna do until the 6th measure, okay? So same speed as before. 1 E and 2 E and ready, set, go. And 1 E stop and 1 E stop and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and set, 1 E stop and 1 and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and until there. So let's just take a moment and take a look at what's going on. So it's E, A, open A, right? And then for that C, D, E, what we're gonna do, so instead of just staying in first position, what we have to do is we have to move our first finger to that C, second finger to that D, and then that E is right there. Like that. However, what I suggest you try to get this really in tune is play this E, and then land your second finger on D first, and then extend back to the C. So try that. So try this sequence. So we're gonna do E, A, D with second finger, C, D, E, right? So try that for a while until you get used to that position. That second position, the extension, right? The extended second position. So once you get hang of it, what you're gonna do is just play it slowly. So ignore the rhythm, right? But do the bowing. So E, A, C, D, E, and then once you play the C and land on the D, you can relax your first finger. So C, D, and relax, E, and then we're just gonna shift down to B, B. Just like that. All right, so the scale isn't bad, right? Let's just play the scale real quick. That forte, right? B, C, B, D, C. That part isn't difficult. The difficult part is the measure right before that, right? So E, A, and then shift, and then extension. We're gonna try and land our hand extended already, and that's why we did that weird sequence like that. So we're already, when we land on that C, our hand should automatically be in that extended position, and all you have to do is place your finger down. So A, C, and then relax as you play that last note, right? And then shift. So that's the difficult part here. So that. But that's how you should try and do it. Just break it apart into pieces that you are able to play. I know you can play the notes separately, slowly. So try that first. First get used to that extended second position, because that's a very strange position to be in. Okay, let's try this last part together, all together, very slowly, all right? 1 E and 2 E and ready, set, go. And 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and. Yeah, there we go. All right. So practice the pieces like this in small little phrases, just like how we did. Practice them slowly. There are new things going on. Not so new. It's just it's a little bit fast and it's kind of confusing if you don't pay attention. But just break it down into these 4 small sections and practice it slowly like how we did here. And I think you'll be fine. So now let's just try and play through the whole piece from the beginning till the end. Before we start, let me just quickly make notes about So 1 E and on the end we're gonna try and stop the bow, right? That's one thing. Let me make a highlight. This part is one of the difficult parts here. And then let's make another highlight here. That's another difficult part, right? Yes. This guy, we're gonna change into third finger, excuse me. Like that. All right. Alright, let's try and play from the beginning. And let's go slowly. So, let me write one more thing down before I forget. So you tune the second position with open strings, right? That's one of the main things that we're gonna try and work on. And try and get used to playing without the tape as well. If you don't feel comfortable playing without the tape just yet, that's okay. Keep the tape on, but still try and focus on tuning your second position with the open strings. That trick is going to be very important later on as well. So, all right, enough talking. Let's try and play a couple of times slowly, and then we'll play with the accompaniment to finish off, okay? All right, so let's do... Let's go this fast. Dun, da, 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 da. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4. That fast. Alright, ready? 1 E and the 2 E and the ready, set, go! And 1 E and the 2 E and 4 and 1 E and 1 E and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 2 and 1 E and and F sharp and 2, second position and 2, stay and 2 and 2 and stay and rest, back to first and E and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and ready, set, go, and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 2 and 1 E and There we go. So that's going very, very slow. So just practice until you feel comfortable with the bowing. Just another tip, you don't have to use a lot of bow in this piece. You're gonna play it fast anyway. So try not to use more than maybe this much bow, okay? Alright. I forgot to make another adjustment here. Let me quickly make a thingy. Alright, let's try another time. I'm not gonna try and say too many things. I will still count. 1, and let's try and go this fast. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. 1 knee and not 2. 1 and 2. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Let's try this speed. Dun, 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 bum, 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 E, and yeah, that speed. All right, we got the tempo. Let's try it from the beginning. 1 E and 2 E and ready, set, go, and 1 and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 1 E and second position and crossover and stay in position and 2 and ready and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 1 E and rest. Alrighty. So that's how you should practice this piece. Just practice it phrase by phrase. Break it down into smaller chunks that you are able to play, right? It's okay if it doesn't sound good in the beginning. Just take your time until you feel comfortable playing it, right? Playing an instrument is all about being comfortable, getting used to things that we are not used to doing. This is very weird. It's not a normal thing to be moving our fingers and arms like this. So don't worry about it. So now let's just play with the accompaniment one last time at the speed that we should play. And we'll call it a day for today. All right. Let me get ready. All right. Ready? Here we go. So that's Witch's Dance. Practice it slowly and gradually get faster and faster, and you should be good. So I hope this lesson helped you in practicing this piece or figuring out how to play it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment, and also remember to give this lesson a like. All right, I'll see you next week. Happy practicing. Bye.